United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you. Our Jefferson County Local Development Corporation monthly meeting for May 7th is called to order. Privilege of the floor. I know our guests are going to be on the agenda to speak, so we'll get to that momentarily. Minutes are on page 3. If they've been received, been reviewed, and if so, welcome to accept them.
So,
Bill, I think there was Bill first, and it seemed like Dawn's got her finger up. I'm gonna give her a second.
There you go.
Any other discussion or comments? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, abstaining? Motion carries. Moving to our treasurer's report, page 5, Paul.
nothing exciting this month. If you all received a new dashboard, it's all laid out nicely and everything's where we'd expect it to be. If there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. Otherwise, that's it.
Okay. Got, motion to,
Yes,
Okay.
Rob.
do we have a second?
Second.
Hey, we just gotta keep moving things along. Any other discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed or abstained? Okay, the treasurer's report carries. Committee reports. Council reports, excuse me. We're looking at the wrong thing. Okay,
I sent my report out to everybody ahead of time. If you have any questions on my report, I'm more than happy to answer them. There we go.
Don't tell me that's your report.
Partial.
There's no way.
Well, I knew we were going to be busy today, so I tried to save some time.
Jay, you was telling me.
Well, I hope that's a good.
I'm usually not without words.
Okay, don't push me because I can always come up with something to talk about.
You can be verbal, so you can. Aye. Good. Anything, any questions on Jay's report? Is it a well-written report? Okay, moving on, manufacturing marketing.
So I'd like to talk a little bit about a somewhat new opportunity in Jefferson County that's on Fort Drum. I was at Fort Drum for Industry Day on Tuesday, I believe it was Tuesday morning, and there's an RFP out, and this is all public, and it's been talked about a little bit in the news about a vein of graphite that was found on Fort Drum, and graphite being a rare earth, and it's sort of a very rare, well, it's a rare earth. It's a rare mineral or whatever this stuff is. It's
Graphite.
It's graphite, and it's a great opportunity. And there's an RFP out for mining companies. It's actually due on Monday. Had a great time, and I also want to mention that spending time with Colonel Adler, who's the new garrison commander at Fort Drum, and the guy was amazing. He was funny and so engaged and positive, and it was great to have him sort of lead that session. We toured the site. It's approximately a $200 million graphite processing facility that will go there. It will be fenced off from the rest of the base while it's on Fort Drum. It won't be accessed via a gate, so that the contractors will be able to come in and do the work that they're doing. But it's such an opportunity, and I did talk to one of the people that are putting in for the RFP. I assume there's going to be some of the local companies out of Fowler that will also be applying for that. But it's a real opportunity, as well as potentially opportunity for incentive for this agency, and I'm excited about it. And so wanted to mention that. And then from a marketing perspective, we are pleased to have strategic development specialists here to to talk a little bit about the Micron project. And so I would cede the rest of the marketing time to that presentation.
Okay, before we get to that, I do want to acknowledge and recognize Dr. Gardner, not to put you on the spot, but we did reluctantly accept your resignation. I know it was a tough decision for you, and you said you wanted to address the board. So we're going to give you an opportunity, and so much thanks for all of your efforts. You think you've contributed nothing, believe me, you've contributed an infinite amount of energy and ideas to this organization.
Thank you, Rob. Thank you all. Yeah, it was a tough decision. One form or another, I have been in this board or associated with this board most of the time I've spent in Jefferson County for many, many years. And it's been increasingly difficult with a busy professional schedule, et cetera, and my family situation. This winter turned out to be what I'm calling my winter of discontent. Apologies to both Shakespeare and JCIDA. But some health issues and some other conflicts just convinced me it was finally time to go. I am still deeply committed to the mission. Economic development is something very close to my heart. I have been very grateful for the chance to be part of it through this organization. And it's also been great to work with the people of the board and the staff over many years. I think Jefferson County is extremely well served by all of you. Thanks for your patience. Thanks for all that you have taught me. And so if you ever need anything, I remain committed to the mission. So if there's ever anything I can do for the board or the agency or any of you, please let me know.
Well, we need you at the next meeting.
You might be sitting where Greg Fox is and ask us questions. Again, thank you. It's been a pleasure to work more closely with you. We are going to take you up on, you said you would help make some suggestions so we can kind of keep our board balance similar to to what it is. So any help with that regard, you know how to reach out to Marshall and Jay and do that. But thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
I didn't want to clap. I thought that might put you on the spot. But thanks, Lisa. I think it's appropriate. You want to go through some recent staff changes?
Yeah, as
send an email out.
Yeah, as everyone knows, Robin has left the agency, and we are so thankful for all of the work that she did for us for the past 3 years. She's been great to work with, great person. She's funny. She's just a great person to be around. That's the bottom line. And we're very thankful for everything that she's done, and we wish her the best moving forward. And love you, Robin, if you're watching.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you. Now we can have our presentation. You had a tough act to follow. No somber news.
Sounds like everybody's. Congrats.
Thank you very much.
Hopefully whatever you're doing next is awesome, which is good. Mark Pilatus, Leanne West, I think we talked to you before, you know who we are. We wanted to come up today, just spend about 5 minutes, give you a brief presentation so you see where we're at and where we're going. 3 components or 4 components I'm going to talk about, then Leanne's going to talk about nuclear, because I think that's very, very important up here as well. We have a meeting Monday in Syracuse. Bill's coming down, Marshall's coming down, Ryan Pichet's coming down, a couple of legislators coming down. I'm not sure if you bring anybody else with you down. We'll be meeting with the head of the building trades in our office to start with, to meet with first. We've been engaged with the building trades on behalf of Jefferson County, not from a standpoint like we're going to bring them up here and they're going to take, more importantly, they are on the boots on the ground. They're talking to Micron. They're having a number of conversations with them. They're very, very engaged. I mean, look, there's going to be 4,500, 5,000 construction workers. So they need these guys. These guys are talking to people at different levels. They know what you're looking for in the sense of, you know, if we could get one supplier up here, I think that'd be a huge win for us. Also housing as well. We've had a number of conversations about that, looking down the Adams Center, the southern part of the county, et cetera. You know, I always say, you know, you're 45 minutes to the site, right from where you are. I live in Manlius and I'm 35 minutes to the site. and I gotta stop at 72 lights to get there. You guys are straight shots, a heck of a lot less stressful, trust me, trying to drive there. So that's good. So what we've done is we're bringing them in first to meet with you, talk to you. There's 2 members of the trades that'll be there that day. We're still talking to Greg Lancette, obviously, who also was with the trade, headed up the trade, that's now with the international. But we're engaging as many different people as we can along those lines. The second meeting is with Ryan McMahon. I think Bob Petrovich may be in there as well, too. We're not sure yet, who's Deputy County Exec in charge of Micron. Ryan, obviously, very, very influential in where they're going. Bill, you built a great relationship with him. I don't think you really realize that, but you really have built with him. You had Ryan up to speak here to the Board of Legislators, and that went a long way with him because that allowed him to talk about what he's doing. I think one of the things everybody's starting to realize is as much as we're all counties, we're really a region. And I think that's very, very helpful when it comes time to look for, is there a supplier we can get up here? Is there somebody we can get up here to help work with us? So we're meeting with him as well. We've also been having some preliminary conversations. We're going to have much more with ESD about what you guys are doing, because we want them to start to collaborate more. You know what I mean? Steve Hunt is fabulous up here. Dan Kalinsky down by us, the regional rep, is fabulous. They get along really, really well, so we're pushing them. So they're talking more and more about what's going on, what Micron's doing. You know, and is there suppliers coming? There's not enough land probably in Onondaga County, as we talked about. So we really want to bring them up here and get them to sites. And I know Billy and Marshall and Ryan, you guys have been working on getting sites together along those lines, trying to get the number of acreage we need along that. And I forgot one thing. Ryan, Steve. Building trades. Right. Oh, one other thing, we are talking directly to Micron too. Craig, don't write this part. Please, I'm teasing you. Yeah, I'm teasing. We are talking directly to Micron. Micron's very aware of what you guys have to offer. And we think that's very, very important, okay? Because when the suppliers are coming here, and they're all starting to flock as they start to see Micron go vertical, they start to build, et cetera. The more they're doing, they're gonna flock. Micron's obviously gonna hear stuff, they'll pass it on. We'll continue to pass it on. The one thing that we'd like to see you guys do, and Marshall knows this, we've talked to him and Ryan about it, we'd really like to see some of you guys go to a site selector conference. And I don't know if that's in your budget or not in your budget, but that finance report was probably the best finance report I've ever heard in my life, which was great. Short and sweet, which was awesome. But if there was a way to build that into your budget where you could send Marshall and somebody else, or if the county would send Ryan and somebody else, or they could all go together, I think that would be a home run, because that starts this whole process going to another level where you're talking to people and things like that. And the nice thing is, once you pick your conference, if somebody from Onondaga County's there, they'll hook up with you guys and they'll help you guys, guide you along the process, so you're not just wandering around aimlessly. And Onondaga County always at these things. So they want to be helpful to you, and they want to work along those lines. So that's something to keep in mind as well as we work forward.
We are 100% going to do that.
You are going to?
We're absolutely going to do that. The last one just didn't work out from a scheduling standpoint, as you know. We talked about that, but we are definitely going to do that.
Yeah, I think that's the one piece, and we put that together. I think that would be a home run from here as well. But the bottom line is, what you got to understand is, you guys have made a tremendous amount of ground in the last 12 months. Like, you remember, nobody ever thought of Jefferson County hosting a supplier. And, we've done with Bill and Ryan and Marshall, et cetera, is you run around and you talk to all these different people, and you kind of raise the profile of the county, which I think is really, really important, and go from there. And that's what we've done. And now we got to continue that momentum as time goes on, because, it's going to take a few years for Micron to build, but the suppliers got to start thinking about where they're building too. So that's why we're constantly talking to a number of different people and moving forward with it. Any questions on that? And then Leanne's going to talk about the nuclear piece. Go ahead.
Have they determined the route for the water line? Has that contract been awarded yet? Where are they? I mean, the water line's got to be one of the first infrastructure.
Yeah,
goals.
so use them at the wastewater treatment plant probably, right?
No, the water line for their daily consumption.
I don't know the answer to that. I don't want to lead. I know the wastewater treatment plant, they're in negotiations right now to finalize that contract and the work and PLA along those lines, because that has to be a PLA. That's like billion and done.
But their daily consumption was estimated at like 20 million
Oh,
gallons.
it's ridiculous.
So, I mean, that's gotta be they've gotta do a major water line from the lake coming in.
Yeah, I don't know the answer to that.
Okay.
Anything else I can answer? Kind of brought you up to speed, all right? Which is what you guys need.
I do, one point that you did make that I really appreciate, and I know that it's true about the raising of the profile of Jefferson County, because we really have had a lot of really sort of, important introductions be made through your office, and we're very thankful for that, and I totally agree. And like people like Mr. McMahon, he spends a lot of time in Jefferson County, in our beautiful river, and I think that in having him come up and the connections that have been made have been great. Thank you.
I appreciate you saying, but think about this. What other legislature has he gone to and been invited to speak? You. That's it. You know what I mean? Like, we worked hard to get him up here because it showed the legislators, here's the vision, this is what we're doing. That it's not just only a one county thing, it's a regional. And that's what's so important. And I think that goes back to what Marshall said. I think that was one of our main missions, was raise the profile of the county. And we've been doing it, we're gonna continue to do it. And I think it'll pay dividends with Micron, but also in other areas as well, which will be good. And I'll tell you this too, and I would say this, working with Marshall and Ryan is great. They work very well together, and it's good because you don't always see that in other places.
I know under the right circumstances, this is kind of a hypothetical question, but to match suppliers or whatever we talking 3 months, 6 months, a year or longer, like before they start not closing a contract, but having serious discussions, like, we really like this plot. We're also looking here. I know there's gonna be choices, but like, where do we think we get to that gateway of having something legitimate?
Probably 12 months.
12 months, okay.
Yeah.
I know the
Give or
build-out.
take.
The build-out's gonna take a while.
Yeah, don't hold me to that when I'm back.
No,
You're like, what
as I said,
happened?
it's completely hypothetical. It could
Yeah.
be 2 years, but there's a lot of things that go on with the build-out. Suppliers are gonna show up before the factory.
Right.
Get that.
They want to see that. They want to see that they're really vertical. They want to see they're
They
in the
wanna see
ground.
there's a commitment, but then some people might say, you know what, I'm gonna go set up shop. We're gonna plant flag here.
Right.
And for whatever reason, we're the right choice.
Right. Well, the other thing you guys have great natural resources.
Mhm.
Like, you realize that, but you realize it because you live here, but you don't realize it. Like, we were talking on the way up about the fishing here, the hunting,
Mhm.
the snowmobiling. You know what I mean? Even the skiing in Dry Hill, which is right here. I mean, you go skiing 20 minutes from your house. I mean, where else can you do that? And that's one thing I think that's a real draw to a company, because they want to be able to get the workers, but it's also a draw when you want to build houses or build apartments or build townhouses, et cetera, which is good. And the other thing is Fort Trump. Where you get workers coming out of Fort Trump. That's very, very important. So.
I said from the beginning, whatever opportunity we may have for supply chain input will be dwarfed by the other opportunities coming from the tourism side of it, recreation. Recreation is what I see we're gonna get undulated with in a good way.
And remember last year, we had the building trades up last year and they went fishing. And the feedback, unbelievable. Guys didn't even go, we're talking about it. Like, we went to a trades meeting on something else, and guys who weren't even here were pulling aside, like, everybody said that fishing day was like one of the greatest days.
But you took them to Henderson.
But you guys set it up, it was set up so well, everybody loved it. And that was the thing, like, and that's what you have. But go back to what you said, this is such great natural resources where you can show off and show people different things.
I loved your comment though about Manlius, because we are the fast track to the back door to the
Yep.
site. Everybody, all the other regions, you've got to come through the metropolitan area, whether it's throughway 81 up, you've got to get through all that congestion to get there. For us, we got a straight shot and nothing between us.
And remember, we're taking 81. Yeah, but even with that snow, we're taking 81 down by us.
Mhm.
Like, I don't know if you saw Syracuse.com this morning. Sorry,
Yeah.
Greg. That was like that's the number one story.
Yeah.
Downtown's gonna be a wreck. Really, you just figured this out? You guys didn't realize this? I mean, 81's coming down, they gotta straighten out 690. You know, they don't have the bridges done yet by 481 to make it 3 lanes. It's gonna be a nightmare trying to get there from the east side of town. And that's what, like, goes back to what you said, you guys are straight shot, all highway. You know, and even with the snow.
And even alternate routes, you got 11 or 81.
Right,
I mean, having alternate routes is a big deal.
right, to get down there. Like, and-
11's really not that bad of a drive. Half the time, 181 is a nightmare. I mean, it's like an extra 5 minutes.
And there's not a lot of lights on there, is there?
Very few. I mean, near Mexico and stuff, I mean, there's very few.
Few towns, but not.
It is mostly 55, a couple little,
See, that's right, there's an alternative.
having alternate routes,
Right.
de-stress for the day, you don't drive an 81, but, you know, I mean, they already have signs up on 81 for Micron suppliers exit here. I mean, I was completely surprised a couple weeks ago when I saw that.
Did you see, have you been down by our airport?
Yeah.
There's just starting construction on our airport on 81. And they just, like, everybody's like,
Did they ever finish?
no.
It's just a
None of us are gonna be
continuation.
here when they finish.
It's just
down
a
there.
continuation.
Right, and that's the point, like,
Yeah.
that's so hard. And I don't know, is anybody driven by the Micron site?
Yeah.
Oh my God,
It's crazy.
and now it's cleared?
Yeah.
I mean, you look at that thing, you're like, you do a double take, how big it is, how massive it is.
Yeah, I've been meaning to do that, and I also mentioned, I think it was Paul or chatting, I'm from the Utica area, I keep wanting to go past Chobani just to get the scale. I mean, I know it's nowhere near the size, but just to see
Huge.
something that big, because like Amazon warehouses are kind of meaningless, they're just big structures.
Right.
But like, that thing they're building with Chobani, like the scale of that is immense.
But also look at Chobani, look at what it's done for the local economy.
Yeah.
With the dairy products they need and everything like that, there's such a great offshoot. That's what Micron's gonna do.
Yeah.
But not just in our region, like Micron has a 100-mile radius they wanna draw from, which is great.
And from a site, because there's so much of what we're doing right now involves site development, but having that substation right there, and the transmission lines that are literally coming directly from from Oswego plant, and they're the big ones, and it's just, someone that looks at land differently now over the past couple of years. It's like kind of an economic developer's dream. Having that much power, that big of a spot, in close proximity to workforce, it's great.
But there's an article today about New York's energy needs
not being.
we're right at the brink with summer coming.
Yeah.
I think we're 417.
But we'll talk about that with the real interested nuclearists.
A hot day in July is gonna cripple the state.
Yeah, literally.
Are you
Land's gonna
seeing,
solve all those problems.
are you seeing some major developers in the housing sector showing up, working on plans addressing any housing developments?
A lot of apartments,
New build out?
new build outs, but new build outs. Onondaga County has some grant programs where they help them along the way too. And the state obviously is doing it. We've seen a lot of that. You're not seeing a lot of new subdivisions, like
Sure.
single family houses.
Are IDAs getting involved in housing with those apartments?
They were up, but our IDA just changed. So I don't know the direction they're gonna take, but they were up to that point. They were trying to help out with them. I mean,
Through
that's something,
pilots?
quite frankly,
Through pilots?
through pilots, yeah.
Well, that's a discussion we're gonna have to have.
Yeah, we'd like, when that discussion happens, if it's all right with you, I'd like to be invited back for that. If you don't mind, 'cause I'd like to just weigh in a little bit. I'm not saying, like, just give you our thoughts on that when that time comes. You know what I mean? And then you can kick us
Well,
out.
it's not gonna be long. We have an application.
Yeah. Or we could, whatever you want. We just like to give like 2 cents on that.
We've avoided them in the past,
Everybody
except for
has.
Fort Drum impacts. We did it a few years ago, but the question's being raised again whether we should be involved in housing.
And everybody, if you look across the state, most people have avoided them. Most of the IDAs have.
And there has been, to be fair, because it comes up so much at our EDC meetings, they are pushing us to do them.
Right.
And so I do, and certainly not speaking for this body when I say that. I'm speaking strictly as a staff member of this agency. But it is something that we keep getting talked about, and in the number of pilots that are happening for housing is steadily increasing, and also how they're sort of handling that. Obviously it has to be a commercial enterprise, it's for leased housing, not for build and sell, but where appropriate. Again, I just, again, as a staff member here, and everything else, I just want to mention that one.
And we prepared a report for the board several months ago on IDAs and housing. I believe all of you have that. If you don't, I can resend it.
Yeah.
But it provides information on IDAs that are doing housing and how they're doing it and so on.
We didn't want to hijack, your report on our wish for housing, however.
Anything else for?
So 2 last things. One of the other things we've done also to help out the county is we've been writing a couple grants and helping you out along those lines. Jefferson Community College got a $750,000 grant. We wrote the grant. He's great, by the way. He is a great community college president. I don't know if you guys deal with other ones across, that guy's a rock star. Like, I don't know if you guys realize that. You should lock him up for 20 years before some other college comes to grant him. But he is awesome. He sees a vision. He knows what he has to do with the county. So we wrote the grant, got them $750,000. And I just want Leanne just to touch on nuclear so you understand how we're helping out a little bit there and what's going on with that, if that's okay. All right.
So several months ago, the New York Power Authority put out a request for information statewide, just asking for communities and counties to submit information about potential interest in hosting nuclear facilities in the future. It's very kind of preliminary, generic first step of the process, gauging interest around New York State. I think there was significant interest statewide, but we just received an email from the New York Power Authority last week asking Jefferson County to set up a meeting to talk about potential sites, potential interest, what else is going on in the county in terms of Fort Drum and what's happening with nuclear on the base as well. So I don't think we have that set up yet, but we did throw out a couple potential dates for that meeting.
No word back from them, but we did throw out some opportunities on our side that work for both you and I. So.
Which is it's a very positive step.
Yeah.
And don't lose sight either. Scott Gray's the ranker of energy. And Scott Gray does, I don't know if it's a positive or negative, but Scott Gray in this one, but I think Scott Gray does a great job from the sense he's works very well with the other side. And we've seen that in a number of different things where he's needed help from the other side to be able to get things done. So I think that'll be helpful with the nuclear stuff for you guys as well.
You mentioned Fort Drum, they're still pushing for a micronuclear.
Yes.
If that's the correct term for what they're talking.
Baby.
Baby nukes?
Small modular reactor.
Maybe new.
Small modular reactors. When NIPA's talking, what size are they talking?
So it depends on the community and what their capacity is to host, but I think they're talking about 5 gigs of nuclear statewide.
Is the Power Authority going to be an active owner operator in that sector?
I don't know if that's been figured out yet.
Yeah.
But don't mention.
There's signs clearly showing that they are going to be owner operator. Are they not? Is it not? Do you see that?
I think part of the RFI did ask about developer interest or if you had potential developer partners. So, I think it may depend on the site and the community and who the other partners are.
Good.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
For the
Thank you.
update, appreciate it. All
Thank you,
the hard
Mark.
work.
Thank you, Leanne.
Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.
You're set. We'll see you Monday,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
Okay.
Moving on, unless there's any other questions.
Your office
Right,
first,
right,
right?
Stacy? So, ARPA Food Resiliency Grant Contract Amendment from North Branch Farms, page 11. Jay, the memo from you, do you want to give us an overview, or I can read it as well, but what would you like to do?
I can very quickly say that we had previously approved a food resiliency grant for North Branch Farms. It was to construct a loading dock, which would enhance their ability to move their value-added products to market. variety of different things happened over that next year that prevented Jay from doing that project. He came to me recently. They are trying to grow their strawberry production, which there's not many strawberry operations left in Jefferson County.
Blueberries.
Lots of blueberries, but not many strawberries. And he would like to purchase this harvester of sorts that a person lays on to make it easier to harvest. I don't know how many of you picked strawberries as a youth on a farm. It's a lot of work. I did it on a muck farm for a few
It's free
years.
food.
Well, you're not when the owner of the farm is watching. Tommy Siapa used to watch us pick the strawberries. Anyways, so he would like to purchase this device. It's less than what we had budgeted for the loading dock, but he's fine with that. And I did make it very clear to Mr. Canzonier that this project needs to be completed by the end of the summer because we are nearing the end date of the funding. And he has assured me that it will be purchased by the time the strawberries are ready to pick. So I do recommend it to you for approval. We will issue a new contract. I call it an amendment, but we'll issue a new contract for the project and just get rid of the old contract. So, questions?
I'll move the amendment.
Okay.
I'll second
Wait a
it.
second. Any other questions? So first and second to make an amendment for a little lower value but more appropriate investment. And you'll draft a new contract. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstain? The amendment can go forward. Let's see, ARPA. I mean, we can read through what's here, just skipping to the last page, round 2. I don't know if I can read it just as easily as you, Marshall. So you want me to
Go ahead,
stumble
please.
through it? Okay. I mean, at the bottom right-hand corner of page 14, you can see the total amount is about $279,000. It's the funds that are not allocated, and that's the carryover from above. The number of ongoing projects that, as we all know, they don't always spend exactly everything that's been allocated, so that number may go up a smidge. And then obviously we're still actively looking for new applicants to take some of the underutilized funds. Any questions? Doreen, you're gonna have to start doing this. It looks accounting like.
No worries.
Okay. Justin, I doubt anything for council in this meeting, correct?
No, not this morning, thank you.
All right, any new business? Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Second, third, fourth, and a fifth. Look at that. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? You stand adjourned. Thank you, Dr. Gardner.
Thank you all.
Thanks, sir.
Great. Hopefully you're staying local today.
No, I'm not, actually. I'm heading up to Potsdam.
The lovely ride up.
Oh,
Ronald.
I'm used to it.
It's not terrible.
It's
Most
called
days.
defensive driving, right?
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll call a meeting our Jefferson County Industrial Development Agency monthly meeting, May 7th. We've done the pledge, privilege of the floor. If any guests wish to speak. Minutes are on page 3. I'm gonna open the board packet. If they've been received. Have a motion to accept them as presented.
So moved.
Dave's first. Come on, I got back somebody.
Second.
Ed is second. Any other questions, discussions, modifications? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstaining? The minutes carry. Treasurer's report on page 5, Paul.
Well, I mentioned earlier when we were talking to strategic development that we had an application, but I don't see, did Lawman make a payment for an application fee?
No, not yet. We are going to be reopening that process at Buildings and Grounds and Loan Review this month.
Okay. But he did submit an application.
Well, he submitted a draft for us to look at, but there
Okay.
were a number of things that he said, he submitted it more as a conceptual piece for us to talk about. And then we
Okay.
decided to not push it to board and to have them go back and do some things. So I wouldn't really even call it a submission necessarily.
Well, it'd be nice to see an application fee is what I'm getting
Yeah,
at.
I know where you're headed.
But anyhow, I just wanted to point out, there's nothing really significant in it, except we're still working to generate some business, so we get pilot lease back fees and applications. But I don't know if when you look at Dorina's dashboard, there's this little row down here, and she has A through E's. And, you know, we have a lot of E's in here, and that is over 180 days on some of our programs. And one of them is the pig kettle, which I think is on our radar for writing off, I believe is the correct term. But 3 Mile Bay Ventures, we're rapidly approaching the June issue. And we're going to talk about Convault maybe. But
We will.
there's a lot of E's on there, and we have to be watching those. And that would be it. You asked about a $5,000 payment. That was for the Ag Conference.
Yeah, thank you. I just didn't recognize the name. I have some questions, but if we can do a first and second, we can have discussion. Do we have a first to accept the
Yes.
report? Okay, do we have a second?
So
I did write down 3 Mile Bay. Was our agreement, we're gonna wait till June?
June.
My mind was like foggy what date we agreed on.
Yep.
And they're supposed to get back to us with a proposal.
They did make one payment, though. We did.
To be
receive-
fair, yeah.
Yeah, to be fair.
But this was.
Interest only or interest in?
It was principal and interest,
Okay.
but
But not the fee. Like, we
no,
haven't
that- it
done
was
the
not
fee.
the fee.
Part of it was to get the fee cleaned up, and then the other stuff we would discuss, but I forget the name of their development partner, but anyway, it doesn't matter. They were supposed to get back to us with a proposal, so June is,
I
they're gonna
believe-
be on our. board-
Yes, June is
they're
what
gonna be on
I've
our-
been targeting.
They're gonna be on our board meeting
Yeah.
to talk and,
Okay.
okay, all right.
what was that plan for them, as I understood it, between now and then refinance? And at that time, they were looking to take us out, should that happen?
Yes, I would say that at this point, June is more of a disclosing what the plan will be as opposed to necessarily executing it. But yes, and they have a number of different options that they're pursuing.
Okay. I think from our loan review, Pink Kettle, you were gonna undertake looking into the personal guarantee. I mean, it's not
Yeah.
a huge loan, but anything that is able to be updated in the public, or, because it is personal, so we can't
It-
disclose everything.
yeah, basically the loan documents say that accelerated interest rate should have been imposed. It hasn't been yet. And then also the fact that it is a personal guarantee.
All right, I guess we can, since if we do have to take action to write off, it doesn't really have to be done before September, October, I'm guessing,
No.
for the balance sheet. So I guess we'll continue on with this. You've tried to make contact
Yep.
a number of times.
I
with
did a
the
certified
applicant.
mail.
Okay, and that did not get returned, right? That-
It did get returned.
Oh, it did, so you've been
Since-
certified?
It did, yeah,
Oh,
it
okay.
did get returned, so I'm still
Possibly
waiting for
moved on
contact.
later. Okay. Paul did not mention my favorite subject, LCO, testimony. I think we have good advice that, the closing will happen soon.
Hopefully.
But I guess I used to believe in Santa Claus some days too. So anyway, I'm sorry for being cynical, but,
What was our new deadline for that?
the deadline was, we had.
A year ago.
advice- We had good advice that the closing was happening soon, so there were some very minor holdups, about getting, some documentation. You're in contact,
I am in
Marshall,
contact.
with all of the parties that
I am.
are
To
To be
do my
named
best
later.
to stay right in the middle of it.
to be named later, but, I mean, I think it is a low risk that it won't happen. It's a time thing. It could be tomorrow and it could be the 27th of May. I don't know, but we feel good. Is that fair?
I'm hopeful and optimistic.
Okay,
And the 27th is my birthday, so.
there you go. Mine's too.
That'd be a great birthday present.
Mine's April 27th.
That'd be the best one.
We'll leave the Conval discussion till later, and just to advise, I'm gonna try to maybe park that to the end, because I think part of that we have to go into executive session. So rather than going in and coming back out, we'll leave it to the very end under council. Is that fair, Justin?
Yes, that's fair.
Okay, because I don't wanna have our guests to leave and come back. I think there's a number of things the board has to be updated by our council, and we'll give a brief overview of what's going on. So we had first, second, any other discussion? All in favor to accept the treasurer's report, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstained? Report carries. Paul, anything under alternative energy? Seems like we need to have one soon, right?
We'd like to schedule an alternative energy meeting. We have a meeting after this meeting, a couple of us with,
Yeah, we have some discussions to plan for the next meeting.
Yeah.
Okay.
so we need to schedule an
Okay.
alternative energy committee meeting in the near future. And I think we have some discussions you're on alternative energy, aren't you?
Yeah.
We need some input from the county also as we
Yeah.
move forward.
Yeah, that was part of what we briefly spoke about. We need to figure out how to shape things for the future. Anything else?
No, I mean, the only thing we're talking about are the utility scale ones.
Correct.
It's my understanding that AES now controls all 4 large ones that
Yeah.
are planned in the county. And so, I hate to use the word, but,
Yeah.
they could be an 800-pound gorilla to
Okay.
deal with.
It's 5 projects, but yeah.
5?
Yeah, fine. Bill,
Well, there's 4 permitted.
4, yeah, and then one in
One
the
that's-
process, but that 2 is also an AES.
So-
Yeah.
Well,
That would,
but I go back to that report that you referenced to all of us on the state of affairs
Mhm.
with the power, demand and supply.
Yeah.
In New York State. If everybody didn't read it, go back and read it, because that was the most informative article.
It was a good piece.
But, and one of the segments in that is New York State is playing with $9 billion of federal aid to do those build outs that has to be used up on a timeline. So is New York State gonna wave off on $9 billion? I don't think so.
And with the demand and all the things, I'm good, bad, or indifferent on these solar projects. They do look like they're coming.
Bill, is there this agency would likely not be involved with any of that small nuclear stuff we're talking about, right? So that would never fit under alternative energy. I can't imagine that a pilot or anything of that nature would ever come into play with.
well, that may not be true. Oswego County had significant,
No, we are doing.
significant,
It could be a huge one.
there was significant negotiations
Yeah.
extending 9 Mile 2 or one of the
Okay.
ones in
All right,
Oswego.
I'm mistaken. That's why I'm asking the question, to make sure it fits in alternative energy, because it is to me.
It sure is.
Okay.
I look forward to having those discussions.
We'll park that one then.
Yeah.
Building and grounds, John, we have one matter, which I think we have a resolution, but if you want to give us an update of, what we're gonna be voting on.
Sure. So we did have a building and grounds committee, and the main topic was this easement that National Grid needs for our property in the back of the industrial park. I guess the synopsis is that Justin, I think, has done a great job providing the legalese in the proposed easement language that protects the agency. In addition to assuring that our fees, our expenses will be paid, right, Justin? That's right. And with all that, the committee has recommended that the full board take it into consideration today.
Okay.
Anything to add, Justin?
That's about it. We got feedback from National Grid yesterday. They've accepted all of our indemnity and insurance provisions, which is good. So the boilerplate's there. The last real discussion item is if staff has a recommendation or if the board has any input on, what do you want to charge for 5 years? And then with that guidance and your approval today, we can get this thing wrapped up as quickly as Grid wants to move.
Justin, are there two separate approvals? One just the temporary easement, or does the annual fee go within that document?
It would all be one approval.
Okay.
It's really, for a 5-year temporary roadway agreement, what do you think is a fair amount annually? They provided a valuation through the consultant that did visit you once or twice earlier this year, $1,300 for 5 years, which take it or leave it. You may have an opinion as a board or as staff, the monitoring and, the value of allowing them to, use your land to build a more permanent temporary roadway. What do you think it's worth? And I don't know if there's a consensus or if you want to have a discussion, but that's really the last business item to nail down.
Okay.
Yeah, I think from the committee standpoint, Rob, kind of based on what we've got coming in the future, especially with our property down by the airport. The grant was another discussion that we had, the one we recently received for $170,000.
Yep.
Marsh.
173. Yep.
At 173, which will bring 4 megawatts of power. So I don't know, the committee kind of talked about, what's fair. And what makes a good working relationship with National Grid. This property, my understanding is way in the back of the industrial park, and the road's not gonna have any significant, impairment or ability to do anything with that property. So I think the consensus of the committee was whatever, $1,300, if that's what they offer, that's probably as fair as it's gonna be both ways.
Okay. Justin, the way the language was modified is whatever fee we agree upon, legal fees were in addition to it, correct?
Yeah, the motion to approve the easement could include the form of it and your consideration that you're approving, and if that's what they're offering, that's fine.
Mhm.
And then, subject to National Grid's payments of all costs to wrap up the agreement, which would include legal and anything else that you've incurred along the way.
Okay. One other thing I think we did discuss at John's meeting, did we tighten up the 5-year period is from the date of signing and not from when they begin work? Because I think it's 5 years from when they begin work, which could be 5 years from today, or is it 5 years from when they sign?
Yeah, as of the date of the agreement, so it's finite. At this point.
Okay, so we have a guaranteed, whatever fee we agree to, that 5 years to complete all the work, and we're not burdened with this, what John is saying, unburdensome, event, but nevertheless, they don't have like rights forever.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's a
good.
5-year window that's known. And if for whatever reason, this transmission project and substation project extends beyond that, they can come back and ask for extension, but
Okay.
it isn't a question mark at this point.
So we can ask more questions, but if we can get, I guess we're looking for a couple motion with a couple parts. The legal document has been described, whether we do or don't agree to a $1,300 one-time fee, or we're looking for an annual fee. I'm sure blank. What was the
Legal
I
fees.
knew there was legal fees. Yeah, legal fees. I knew there was something else I said. It was just like right straight over Matt. So I guess we need 3 parts. We make a motion. We can have more discussion. So it's the framework of the agreement, whatever the fee is, whether it be annual or one time, and then in addition to whatever that fee may be, legal fees are extra. And then Justin then can get a pin in this and button it up and move on.
During the discussion piece, I just want to add a
Go
couple
ahead.
of points. Go ahead, please, sir.
I was gonna make a motion, but you can.
Okay, I just want, before we talk about the payment piece, that's something that it hasn't been hold up because we haven't discussed it or anything, but I just want to say that I'm appreciative of everything that National Grid has done for us in the past. It's and I've thought about this, and Justin and I kind of kicked around some numbers. It's one of these things where it's tough to make it a significant enough sum. But National Grid has been such a great partner for us. We've received hundreds of thousands of dollars in grant funds from National Grid. I enjoy working with them. This county, they've been a partner with this county in such a positive thing for so long that working with now Logan Eddy, Brian Anderson, and Jerry Hanlon, of course, in the past, Joe Russo, and Art Hamlin. I don't know if I'm missing anybody. And now Jennifer Edgeberg has been super great. So I just wanted to throw that out there when we're talking about how much for them to pay for this easement, how much support they've given us. They were one of the first grants that I applied for when I first started here, and I just love those guys. So
Does there have to be some amount from Justin? Does there need to be $1 or some minimal amount to change hands?
Well, it says 10 in here, but we're gonna collect, they offered 1,300.
Yeah.
I put 1,300 was the correct number, right, Justin?
That's, yeah, you have it changed, that number.
I just, I didn't wanna pull the wrong fee out of the, so anyway, if we can have a
As we
motion.
go forward, it's important to note, we have a huge electrical distribution problem that they're working to correct in this county now. So what we're doing is assisting in creating a better distribution system that we hopefully will be taking advantage of at the airport park at some point in time, and more than 4 megawatts of power, hopefully, eventually. So I would move that we approve it at $1,300 and plus all associated fees, legal and others that may be accrued by the agency to make it happen. We should get out of this with just a $1,300 check and no bills.
So not annual, just one time as an option.
One time.
Okay.
John, seconded.
John, any other discussion? My only opinion was it would be nice to collect an annual fee, but I do appreciate the fact that there's as long as they're paying all the legal fees.
Yes,
I mean,
that's the key.
it's so we're gonna walk away with kind of like an application fee, if you call it that.
And we have a grant in for them.
And we get all of the legal fees.
Well, you could make the argument, why do we charge, well, why don't we just,
No, this one off.
not charge them anything?
This is an
I
offer.
like it.
Let's go with the offer.
Sorry, Ed, we're not going down that rabbit hole.
Just look at what this new substation, the construction there is, it's amazing. What's the big building for?
We're kind of iffy on our rules.
I can tell you probably don't understand that term. It's going to be a synchronous condenser going in.
Inside.
Just,
Inside that,
Maybe
there's
a-
actually 3 of them. They're
I
like a
think
big
you-
I have
mortgage.
a question, I'm gonna second the motion also.
John, we just had a discussion, we're not entirely sure of the rules, you can actually vote remotely.
Okay,
Justin, I
that's right.
don't know if the rules for COVID, I don't know what's changed, like John is on our board, can he vote remotely?
I'm trying to remember if we adopted a remote meeting policy. And I-
Because out of precaution, we think we might. We have 5 in
I
the
think we
room.
did.
We did.
I feel like
Yeah.
we did too, but I
And so he does not count towards quorum, looks like you got plenty there.
yeah, we have 5 here.
Yeah.
Later down.
Well, you can still say yes. But, for the purposes of whether we do or don't have a remote, we'll put Dave as the second, because he is in the room.
Co-second.
Yeah, co-second. Any other discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed or abstained? So we've approved the legal framework, a $1,300 one-time fee, and all expenses and legal costs associated with this easement. Okay?
We'll get it done.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Did you just call me Doug saying you didn't think I'd understand?
The term. I mean, most people don't understand the term. Did you?
No, I did not understand.
So, loan review,
Calling you stupid.
Dave, you were after it. John, Chuck, and me were there. I was remote. So
Seeing what you're doing.
John and Chuck, you want me to just do kind of a brief synopsis? Because we're gonna talk about the settlement later on anyway, at the end of the meeting. you have any concern with that? Okay. So we had a long review meeting. The majority of it was to review some framework of a settlement we're gonna vote on later with Conval. We essentially have a payment plan. I will update later. We actually have part of the money in escrow now, so that's good news. We won't get into the details of the agreement. We have to go through some things, get advice of counsel on that. We also talked about Pink Kettle, which came up. It's a micro loan that's in arrears, numerous attempts to reach the applicant and have failed. So we'll talk about that later when we get into having to write things off. We also had a very preliminary discussion about a housing project proposed in Sackett's Harbor and more about that it's a new project and not a continuation of a past project. I think that was like the gist of it, and we're waiting for that applicant to make an application and come in before us and talk. That was about it. I don't know if I missed anything, John or Chuck. That kind of like really hits the high points.
Those are the two issues.
I think you hit it all.
Okay, good. As I said, I'd like to put the Conval settlement under council towards the end because I think we're gonna need to go into executive session for part of this. Certainly we take a vote in public and read what we need to. So having said that, are there any finished and new business? Because then we can just move directly into, if the board wishes to, executive session. But before we do that, nothing else. So we're gonna review a settlement that Conval and our council have made. I've already hit the high spots. There's a payment plan. We have some of the money in escrow currently now, as confirmed by our council yesterday. The framework of the agreement that's still being worked out. That's what we need to get advice of council from what that framework is. And since it is involving an ongoing legal matter, we're gonna do this in executive session if the board's pleasure sends us in that direction. So that's the highlight for the public. And then when we come out and we have more knowledge from council, we'll take a vote on the settlement and let the public know the facts that we can discuss. So I'm asking.
I would
for
move we
executive
enter
session.
executive session, discuss a pending legal, and we would allow any members of the LDC and staff to stay.
Okay. Second,
Second.
all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstained? Okay. So we'll just give them a minute to clean up. Everything.
What is that convention do?
Stabilize.